Hello friends, back from Flite Fest 2019, and man was it good to see some old friends, make some new ones, say hello to my subscribers, and speaking of that, thank you for all the new 50 or so that have just joined my channel. I really appreciate your subscription and your loyalty. If you like my video productions and you haven't yet, please consider subscribing and hit the notification bell so you'll be alerted each time I put out a new video. So this video is going to pretty much sum up my thoughts on Flite Fest. If you haven't been, you definitely need to consider it for next year. So let's get the summary started. Flite Fest is set in Malvern, Ohio. You see that long grass strip? That's John Fury's personal airplane runway. He and his family allow us to invade his half-a-mile property and hold an annual festival of flight. It's a place where like-minded enthusiasts can come build, fly, and crash their aircraft. I think this year's layout was probably the best yet. In the middle was 2 build tents, vendor row. Lane's Planes even drove 16 hours to get there. A flight test tent for Show Central, and a new flight test permanent building for their store, and all those great food trucks. There were 2 shower trailers. You wouldn't think that'd be enough for all the campers, but it really was. I went to my first Flite Fest in 2016. I'd only been flying planes for 2 months, and I just fell in love with the RC community. Anybody's willing to help. It's really amazing. That banner says it all. It's wonderful to see families come together, father, son, mother, daughter, and just build together. Just look at those build tents, full of imagination, things people try to create to check to see if it will fly. This early morning, the father and son were struggling to get their airplane to fly, so I went over to help them. Turns out just the prop was on backwards. I was also able to get this wonderful sunrise picture of the sun. It always seems to rain at least one day at Flite Fest, but that doesn't hold us back. We can make the best of it and fly on.
We'd like to cover today. We have our awesome volunteers, which let's give it up for the volunteers. Everybody in a maroon shirt or a red shirt and an orange shirt. Not only are they the ones that make this event happen every year, but over the years, since the very first one in 2014, they've become like a big family, like an extended family of the Flite Test crew.
My friend Mike lives in Kansas City, so he stayed with me overnight on our way up to Flite Fest. Andre Russo in charge of the volunteers. And it was great meeting as many of the Flite Test staff as possible. They're very welcoming. Oh yeah, and the flights don't stop when it gets dark. People bring out their planes decorated with LED lights. The nighttime's not just for airplanes. Jesse Perkins showed up and lit up the tent with his tiny whoop nighttime flying. He had a bunch of pilots show up so they could test their skills on his track. It was fun for all ages. This is a portion of my flight through the golf cart tunnels